What up? What's pop locking YouTube? It's your boy Noob Sidebot. I'm here to give you guys my Universal Gamer update number 5. Now, inside this particular video, I'm recording at a higher resolution of 1080p. Usually I record at 12 megabits per second, but today, inside this particular video, I'm recording at 17 megabits per second. My camera can also do 24 megabits per second. I'm kind of debating on when I go to Comic-Con, do I want to record at 24 megabits per second to give you guys that ultra crisp 1080p. It's all 1080p no matter which way the coin land, but at the same time, one's a higher resolution, and 24 is the higher resolution of 1080p. And I'm kind of iffy about it because when I put inside an editor like Sony Vegas, it can barely handle it and stuff like that. Even the camera itself like to split the videos in half. So if you see two separate clips from me inside this particular update recording at 17 megabits per second, then you know why, because the file size gets so big, 4 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes for a 10-minute video, 15-minute video. So with that said, yeah. And if you think I'm talking too fast, then listen too motherfucking slow, so catch up. Let's get started off. 1 minute, yeah, the intro in 1 minute, yeah, baby. So yeah. Anybody that knows me knows my favorite game genre, If you know me as far as gaming is concerned, you know my favorite game genre. If you say shooters, then you're wrong. Fighting games, you're wrong. Sports games, you're wrong. Action games, you're wrong. MMOs, you're very wrong. Action RPGs, you're wrong. Strategy RPGs, you're wrong. RPGs, you're wrong. Puzzle games, board games, you're wrong, unless you said horror. Horror games, my favorite game genre ever. It's my favorite game. It's my favorite genre over a lot of things. Movies, TV shows, podcasts, like I said, games. I love horror. It's kind of like roller coasters. I love roller coasters also. And roller coasters and horror games and horror movies and horror anything, it's give you that little tingling feeling. It scares the shit out of you, but it gives you this tingling feeling that makes you want more. So that's kind of how horror does to me. I got so much horror movies, but when it comes to games, I think horror games are getting overshadowed these days. A lot of developers and people that make games or write games just overlook horror games in general. Or whatever. So that's why inside this particular update, I decided to give you guys my top 5 horror games. Now, I know you guys seen an in particular update like that before. Well, here's my top 5 horror games of all time, blah, 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 by IGN, Game Traders, and people that make a lot of YouTube videos. But you haven't seen it like your boy Noob Sidebot makes his videos and his top 5 horror games. So I'm not just going to give you guys my top 5 horror games. I'm giving you guys my top 5 hardest horror games to beat. Yeah. So with that said, I was waiting for like an applause, but I didn't hear anything. But of course, I'm recording through the camera, I can't really hear you guys, or whatever. But anyways, with that said, let's go. My top 5 horror games is, of course, 5 is being the least hardest, and number 1 being the hardest. And some of these games can get mixed and matched and stuff like that, and these are inside order. So I know a lot of people are like, why is this game not inside the Noob Sidebot? What the hell do you think, you nigger? I don't care, Why is Eternal Darkness not inside there? Either I haven't paid the game or it's just not inside my countdown. Eternal Darkness, never played that game. Been hearing about that game for years, but it's never played it. So, with that said, some of these can be mixed and matched, but the last game cannot be mixed and matched. I think the number 1 game is the hardest survival horror game franchise and survival horror games in history, in horror game history. The hardest games to beat in horror game history. So let's go. Number 5, Dead Space. Everybody know Dead Space is my favorite horror game of all time on the consoles. It's one of my favorite horror game genres or whatever on the console, and it kicks ass, or whatever. It's not number 1, of course, but it's in the countdown. So it shows that it kicks ass. It's hard, Even though you got plasma cutter, plasma rifles and stuff like that, all kind of mining tools, it still gets hard, especially when you play it on the hardest difficulty. It's a whole different ball game, Especially in Dead Space 2, the last 3 missions. Oh man, don't tell me that's not hard. And then like towards the end of the game, they throw like 75 necromorphs at you. Not all at once, but like they're just coming in everywhere. It gets hard. You run out of bullets. You start to feel like Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil games or whatever. Speaking of, number 4, Resident Evil. Yes, you got shotguns, machine guns, grenades, pistols, all that. But at the same time, the older Resident Evil games, they gave you a limited amount. They barely gave you a health to get past. They gave you barely enough bullets to get past. They gave you just the right amount of stuff, which was really not really the right amount because you still needed more. So you couldn't treat this game like just a random gun game where you're just blasting through everything. The game was hard. The camera angles that you were in gave this kind of movie cinematic look where you're watching somebody, but at the same time you're controlling them. So it's kind of crazy. That's why it's in the countdown at number 4. Number 3, Silent Hill. Silent Hill is one of those games where you have to use your cabeza. You have to think with your head, use your mind to figure out these puzzles, riddles, and your character moves sluggish and wasn't smooth animation. Yes, you had pistols and shotguns and stuff like that towards the end of the game, like towards the middle of the game. When you started off, you had nothing but a fucking stick with some nails in it, or a pipe, or if you were lucky, you found a sword somewhere hidden off in the shadows with a whole bunch of monsters and stuff like that, and you still had to go through a lot of stuff to get to it. And the animation of your character wasn't all that good, wasn't like smooth or anything, and they did it on purpose because they're still making it like that to this day. They don't want you to feel that you're in control of the game. They want you to feel like the game controls you. You know, like the game owns you, and you gotta work your way through the game, not work the game. So that's why Silent Hill is at number 3, one of the third hardest survival horror game franchises. Number 2, Fatal Frame, which is the best ghost horror game of all time, hands down. If you think wrong and you never played Fatal Frame, take your ass, take your fucking PS2, you don't got a PS2, take $35, $40, buy a used PS2, get Fatal Frame if you can find it, 1, 2, and 3, play those games, shut up, play in the dark, with a surround sound, and tell me that that's not the best, scariest fucking horror game you've never played. And the hardest, because those games are hard. I mean, you fighting ghosts. How could you really fight a ghost? You know, you fighting a ghost with a camera though, camera of a squirrel, and it's still hard though, because the ghost can be. I mean, it's easier to scare you with ghosts than it is with monsters these days. Because monsters, roar, wow, douche, 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 ghosts, and the wall and shit. They be inside the wall. You're like, what the fuck is that? Bam! Just come out at you and shit. You're like, oh fuck! They all flying through the ceiling, come through the walls, and you think you go through the door, and because it does the animation where it opens the door and then it closes it, that the ghost ain't gonna go through. Like it's one of these older games where once you go through the door, you evade the enemy. No, these motherfuckers coming through the door and shit, crawling out of fucking chests and shit. It's like, what the fuck? So yeah, Fatal Frame is at number 2. Not because it's scary as hell, it's just because it's hard also. You get stuck. The number 1 hardest game of all time, hardest horror game of all time. I don't care what nobody's saying. Don't really care at all. And a lot of people have been saying, why is this game not in the countdown? Why is this game not inside such and such countdown? It's not inside my countdown because I don't see it inside other people's countdowns. It's inside my countdown because it deserves to be inside this countdown at number 1. Penumbra. If you've never heard of Penumbra, of course you haven't because it's on PC only. Penumbra 1 and Penumbra Overture and the other game they made, which I played the demo of, those games are crazy. They're not as scary as Fatal Frame, but they are scary, and most of the time you can't even kill the monsters. You gotta evade them. You gotta run from them, or whatever. And it's not just that. It plays with your mind. You gotta have a good high ass IQ. The average person will not beat none of the Penumbra games. I guarantee it. Survival horror, problem solving, and platforming, no one even comes close. I guarantee it. You know? The average person will not beat none of those Penumbra games. Hands down. Penumbra 1, you put that game in, you're inside of a room. It's not like these other games where you find a key and you gotta do a puzzle to find a key and unlock the door. No, what you found inside the first part of the game was a coin. You found a fucking coin and you put it inside the vise, you screw the vise, make it flat, unscrew the screws on the vent, take the vent off and get through the vent and go through the door. Or that's the way you get out the door. You're like, what the fuck? I never played no game like this in my life. You know, it's real. Whatever you can do in the real world, like you find like little stuff like tie a string around a magnet and put the magnet between a little hole and pick up the key. If you can do that in the real world, then you can do that in that game. That's what that game is about. And even when you figure out that's what that game is about, it's still hard as hell. You know, so that game will test your mind like no tomorrow. There's another part I wanted to bring up, but you know, I want this video to be too long, shall I say. Now, my next topic, a couple of people have asked me why I stopped doing my giveaways. My little monthly giveaways. Some people know I've been doing that or whatever. Basically, the reason why I stopped doing it is because, you know, I'm kind of broke, and I've been doing it just so I can get subscribers and get friends on YouTube anyway. So, I mean, that's what it was, to tell you the truth. Yeah, that's what you fucking haters want to hear, huh? No, bitch. It's because, you know, that's what your haters out there. Nah, it's not because of that. It's because people just stopped answering the questions. Like, they were like gaming questions and stuff like that, but like in a little twist to where you have to actually think about it and stuff like that. Like my last question I was gonna have was gonna be too hard for you guys. If you guys wasn't answering the other ones, then you guys showing the hell when they got the recent one I was coming up with. Basically, I had made 5 videos, and in each one of those videos I had spelled out. Well, I didn't spell out anything. I said a letter at the end of each video. Or like in my credits, I like to put like a letter at the end of the video, like an M or something, or an E or something, or I might say like G at the end of the video. And basically, when I got to how I was gonna do it was it's gonna be like a little riddle. And the riddle went, let me see if I can remember how the riddle went. The riddle was like, okay, the average person can spell a word within 2 seconds or less. Depending on the word, it may take 4. Noob Saibot spelled the word that took 2 weeks or more. What was the word? Basically, that's what it was. And the word was gamer or whatever. I put like letters hidden inside my videos and stuff like that, and people had to like pay attention to my videos or backtrack and look at those videos again to figure out what it was. And I'm gonna say the riddle again. The average person can spell out a word within 2 seconds or less. Depending on the word, it may take 4. Noob Saibot spelled a word that took 2 weeks or more. What was that word? And it was gamer. And I knew nobody wasn't gonna get it, so I just never did that. And people just stopped answering the giveaway questions anyway. So I just figured nobody don't want no free shit. So that's why I stopped doing it. Also, I will be getting the full version of Sony Vegas. I had the trial version, and usually, like every single year, I update my stuff. Usually, I update my camera every year. When it comes, as far as YouTube, I update my equipment. You know, I updated my camera for the 3rd time. I updated from Movie Maker to Sony Vegas. I had the trial version, so it had expired already. So I will be getting the full version the day before Comic-Con to be exact. And, you know, whoop-de-doo for you guys, because you guys gonna see all kind of crazy animations and cool stuff inside my gaming updates and stuff like that. It's not gonna just be just plain like this, where it's just like nothing. It's gonna be like little titles and stuff, and little music and all that stuff popping up and stuff like that, little gaming update intros. You know, it's gonna be fun for you guys, but for me, it's gonna be this. All right. Two hours later. No, I don't want to do that. All right, save. 2.5 hours later. All right, encode. 2.5 hour and a half later after you finish encoding. Okay, upload to YouTube. All right, 45 minutes to an hour later. Okay, finally upload to YouTube. And then like 3 hours later after it's on YouTube, here's somebody writing a comment. Noob Saibot, this fucking video suck, you fucking nigger. You a black ass fucking nigger. What the fuck you make a dumb video like this for? And you guys wonder why sometimes I put people on blast, because while I'm sitting back for hours going like this all day trying to make a good ass YouTube video, make my commentary real good, make all kind of cool animation and stuff, you get these people on YouTube that don't know shit about making a YouTube video. They don't got not one lick of video on their channel and like to talk shit. But anyways, with that said, since I'm recording at a high resolution on this camera, I do not want this camera separating my videos into 2 out of nowhere. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video, do a part 2. This is going to be my only part 2 ever on my Universal Gamer update. So I don't want to just run you guys dry and make all kind of videos and make like multiple videos in one and make you guys watch 2 separate videos that are like 10 minutes long. So this is going to be the only time I ever do this. Sorry for that. Like I said, I'm recording at a high resolution and I kind of got more stuff to talk about and things of that nature. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.